Hi everybody, Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of the Yay You release blog hop with Simon Says Stamp. And I have a couple of fun projects to share with you using several of these new Yay You release products. Both of my cards are going to be featuring the new Orange Blossom Stencil. And here she is. She also comes with a coordinating die set. So you can not only blend your orange blossom images, you can also die cut them if you want to pop them up, add dimension. But on this first card, I'm using the stencil only. So I'm going to create two cards, one stencil only, one with the die to give it a little dimension. So I'll show you how you can use with or without the die. This first card, I'm starting with Peachy. I'm going to be using all Pawsitively saturated inks. And what I did was I looked on Pinterest. I typed in orange prints, like orange art pattern prints. I just wanted to get the mojo flowing. Like, what are some color combinations? What's some layouts with oranges? But you certainly aren't limited to only using this stencil as an orange design. You can just look at this as design elements. This is just a big open circle. Can just use it repeatedly in rainbow colors. You create a whole background of just circular shapes. I've seen, if you go on the website, Simon Says Stamp, and you look at the orange blossom stencil, what other designers have created, some people just created a beautiful background with only the leaf of the stencil. So there's a lot of possibilities. My daughter, Bailey, she actually designed a stencil kind of similar to this a while ago. It was called Organic Fruits, and it had a very kind of fruity organic vibe about it that this one has too, which I really, really love. And I think it's very, very trendy. And Bailey happens to love it. So I know she's going to just love these cards. And she happens to also be graduating here in about a week. She's graduating from high school. And we're also getting a lot of graduation party invitations. So I know there's going to be a lot of parties. We're going to need a lot of graduation cards. And I think if Bailey likes this kind of vibe, surely her friends will like it too. So I thought, hey, why not knock out a couple of graduation cards with the Orange Blossom Stencil? And I'm just freewheeling here. I'm using these small little dots, adding a bit of detail to these shapes. I guess they could be oranges. They could be clementines. I'm not really sure. We're just going with flow. The colors I used was Peachy, Cheeky, and for this brightest red, Pucker. And that really brings the pop and the party. It does. It really makes it pop. Okay, so I'm taking one of the large leaf images in the stencil, and I'm blending that with celery ink. I'm also using the Simon Says Stamp blender brushes. I use the large ones. Sometimes I pull out the little mini ones when you need to get in a little small area. And I also pull out LIMELICIOUS, which is just a little bit shade darker than celery, to add a bit of gradient love to that leaf. Now here I'm doing two small little leaves on the bottom end of the fruit cluster. The first one was lighter with that celery ink, and the second little leaf is with that LIMELICIOUS. Gives it just a little bit darker leaf. Look at that. I just love that. And I'm going to add a sentiment. This is from a new, what's this called? Birthday Wishes. It's a little mini stamp set from the Yay You release, and I stamped It's Your Big Day. Now, I think this could work great for a graduation, but it also could be good for a birthday. You know what else it could be? Good if you just had a shower. If you got a workout in and you took the dog for a walk, it's your big day. Now, when I was all finished, popped it up on an ivory card base, added embellishments, I realized in the stencil there's a little stem that you can add to your leaf. And totally optional, but I thought, hey, why not pop it back on, add a little bit of blending, and it just gave it that finished kind of leaf stem. You certainly don't have to add it, but I'm glad that I did. So there's card number 1, It's Your Big Day. Now here's card number 2. I'm going to be using the same colors. These cards kind of coordinate together. Fruity, citrusy, fresh, vibey. That's what I'm going for. Okay, celery and LIMELICIOUS. I give it with the big brush, the wash of celery. Then I take the small brush and add just a little rotation of that LIMELICIOUS. And that gives it the gradient love. Speaking of It's Your Big Day, like I said on the last card, today is our dog Hank the Tank. It's his big day. Today he turned 1. And I can't believe it. That was a really fast year having him. And now here's the problem. We wanted to do something fun for Hank. What do you do for a dog on their birthday? And my whole Instagram feed, if I'm being honest with you, has turned into nothing but dog videos, dog reels, and dog collars, and dog paraphernalia. So I've watched many a dog video, and I've seen some where they take their dog into the pet store and they let their dog pick out a treat or a toy. And I thought, let's take Hank to the pet store and let him pick out a toy for his birthday. Well, we took him. We just got back. And it was a hot mess, let me tell you. Hank couldn't concentrate. It was just too much action, too many smells. He got kind of nervous. And we ended up picking out a toy for him. It was kind of like one of those. He loves to play like tug of war with ropes and things. So we got him like a tug of war. And then the lady at the store gave him a couple of dog cookies. And then we got out into the parking lot, and he just about ran away. And then we got into the car, and our daughter Emma just about shut his tail in the car door. Long story short, we're never leaving the house. But maybe, I don't know. They really want to go get Hank a pup cup. Maybe at Starbucks or Dairy Queen. I don't know. We'll see if that's going to happen. Anywho. Moving along to the card, I did a cluster of leaves at the top right corner, a little cluster of leaves in the bottom left corner, and I'm just kind of flanking it up in the top right, flanking it in the bottom left. Doing the same kind of design that I did on the first card, but just kind of stepping it up a little bit, adding a little bit more. As you can see, whenever I blend, I kind of blend a little bit heavier on one side and lighter on another. It's kind of a personal preference. I feel like it gives it this dreamy, kind of soft look. My favorite part is when the images overlap and you get those overlapping colors. To me, that's just the cat's meow. Okay, so I'm going to add that smaller little circular fruit image with Cheeky. And you don't need much. I'll tell you don't need much. These positively saturated inks are positively saturated. Yes, they are, and they blend like butter. They really do. You don't need much ink on your brush, just a little bit. But I'm adding some more detail to these small little fruity images. And then now I wanted to add the pucker to an image, so I took it off on another panel of white cardstock. By the way, I'm using Hammermill white cardstock. I've been hooked on it ever since I bought it for foiling, which it foils like a dream, and I started blending on it. And it blends like a dream. I just can't stop using it. And I was looking today because I've heard some people say they had trouble finding it, that it's been out of stock. And that made me worry, even though I have about a half a ream. But I've become dependent on my Hammermill. Now I blended those two pucker fruits. I used the coordinating dies to cut them out. And then now for a sentiment, I pulled out the Yay You stamp set designed by Kathy Zilski. I love this congrats. It's like a big bold congrats. I just stamped it right in the center with VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and then I added a little sub sentiment. You did it. Also from that Yay You stamp set. And I pop up those little pucker fruits. I did trim them off. You don't really need to trim them off. But then I went off on another piece of white cardstock and added a few leaves. I'll die cut those after I blend them, and I'm just using a combination of those two greens, the celery and the LIMELICIOUS. I'm not even masking off. You don't need to take the time because if I get off on the sides, it's not going to matter. I'll use the coordinating dies. It's only going to cut out exactly what I want, just like so. I take it off camera, run it through my die cutting machine, and then I will just kind of tuck those in here and there, pop this whole thing up on a cream card base, and there you have your two fruity, fresh, and vibey congrats cards. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure and check out the rest of the Yay You release blog hop with Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.